Hello and welcome. In this video, you'll find the full summary of Leo Tolstoy's timeless masterpiece Anna Karenina, a story of love, betrayal, passion, and society's unforgiving judgment. This novel explores the struggles between personal happiness and the rigid expectations of 19th century Russia. Let's dive into the world of Anna, Vronsky, and Levin, and uncover why Anna Karenina remains one of the greatest works of literature ever written. The beginning of the novel, a family in crisis. Tolstoy opens his novel with one of the most famous lines in world literature. All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. This line foreshadows not only the marital crisis within the Oblonsky household, but also the central themes of the novel: love, betrayal, and the fragility of family bonds. The story begins with Stepan Arkadyevich Oblonsky and his wife Daria Alexandrovna. Steva's infidelity has been discovered, and Dolly is devastated. The atmosphere in the house is tense and heavy. At this crucial moment, Steva's sister, Anna Karenina, arrives in Moscow. The entrance of Anna lives in St. Petersburg and is one of the most admired women in high society. Her beauty, elegance, and charm make her stand out everywhere she goes. Yet despite her enviable life, she is not truly happy. Her husband, Alexei Alexandrovich Karenin, is a cold, distant government official, more devoted to his career than to his wife's emotional needs. What Anna longs for is true passion and affection. Her journey to Moscow is not just an attempt to mend her brother's broken marriage, it is the beginning of her own fateful story. The social atmosphere. In this first part, Tolstoy introduces not only the characters, but also the glittering, hollow world of 19th century Russian aristocracy. Lavish balls, grand estates, horse-drawn carriages, and carefully staged social appearances form the backdrop of the novel. Beneath the surface of manners and traditions lies hypocrisy. Outwardly, the aristocrats uphold moral codes, but inwardly they conceal desires, betrayals, and forbidden passions. This double standard of society will play a crucial role in Anna's tragedy. A tense calm, Anna's arrival in Moscow brings a spark of hope to the Oblonsky household. Her warmth and presence soothe Dolly's wounded heart, if only for a moment. But the reader already senses that this is just the calm before the storm. Anna's path is about to lead her into a love that will shake her world and defy the very society she belongs to. Fate at the train station. When Anna Karenina arrived in Moscow, the train station was crowded and noisy. It was here that she would meet the man who would change her destiny forever, Count Alexei Vronsky. Vronsky was young, handsome, and a celebrated officer of the aristocracy. Women admired him, men envied him, yet his heart had never truly belonged to anyone. The moment Anna and Vronsky's eyes met, Tolstoy paints it as brief yet profound, ordinary yet unforgettable. Both seemed to sense, almost instinctively, that their lives would never be the same after this encounter. A shadow of tragedy. During their meeting, tragedy struck the station. A worker fell beneath the train and was killed. Anna was shaken and felt it as an omen, a dark sign foreshadowing that their bond, though intoxicating, would one day lead to sorrow, a forbidden attraction. Anna was a married woman. Vronsky was free. Both knew the boundaries of society. Both understood the consequences of stepping outside those lines, yet the pull between them was undeniable, impossible to resist, the first step toward love. While staying at her brother Steva's home, Anna began to see Vronsky more often. Their conversations, shared glances, and small gestures began weaving an unspoken bond. Tolstoy reveals here the uncontrollable nature of human desire. Anna and Vronsky's first meeting was not simply the beginning of a love story, it was the start of a tragedy, the hope of young love. Tolstoy shifts the focus away from Anna and Vronsky for a time, introducing us to another story of love and heartbreak. Katerina Alexandrovna, Kitty, Dolly's younger sister, is admired for her beauty and charm among the young aristocracy. Kitty's heart, however, belongs to Vronsky. She believes in his attention, clings to his glances, and dreams of the day he will propose to her. To Kitty, Vronsky is the promise of happiness, Levin's heartbreak. Another man deeply in love with Kitty is Konstantin Levin. Unlike the glittering figures of Moscow society, Levin is rooted in the countryside, hard-working, honest and sincere. He is not as dazzling as Vronsky, but his love is genuine. Levin proposes to Kitty, but she refuses him, still convinced that her future lies with Vronsky. This rejection shatters Levin, and he retreats to his rural estate, throwing himself into solitude and work. Vronsky's indifference, yet Vronsky's interest in Kitty is shallow. His flirtations are playful, his attentions fleeting. Once he meets Anna, his heart shifts entirely, leaving Kitty's youthful dreams in ruins. The clash of hearts. This chapter highlights the fragility of youthful hopes. Kitty finds herself torn between her infatuation with Vronsky and the painful realization that his heart belongs to Anna. Levin is left broken, but his story, unlike Kitty's immediate despair, will continue to evolve. The encounter at the ball, a grand ball in Moscow, brought together the elite of Russian society. Amid the glittering chandeliers and lively dances, all eyes turned toward Anna and Vronsky. Kitty, still clinging to her fragile hopes, attended with her heart full of expectation, but what she witnessed would shatter her completely. Vronsky devoted all his attention to Anna. Her elegance, her laughter, her very presence captivated him. Anna, though initially resistant, felt a growing and undeniable attraction pulling her closer to him. Kitty's broken heart. When Vronsky and Anna took to the dance floor together, it was like a knife through Kitty's heart. In that moment she realized her dreams with Vronsky would never come true. The hopeful illusions of youth collapsed in a single night, leaving her devastated. The inevitability of love. The connection between Anna and Vronsky grew stronger with every glance, every word. Their bond was now impossible to deny, yet it was a love born in shadows, for Anna was still married, and society's judgment loomed over them. Inner conflict. Anna wrestled with herself in silence. She loved her son deeply and was bound by duty to her husband, but her heart surged uncontrollably toward Vronsky. Vronsky, in turn, was consumed by passion. Anna became the center of his thoughts, his obsession, his life. Tolstoy reveals here the duality of the human soul, the pull between duty and desire, love and morality, passion and consequence, love in the shadow of guilt. Anna could no longer deny her feelings for Vronsky. In his presence her heart raced, in his absence she felt an aching emptiness. Yet her passion carried with it a heavy burden, guilt. She was betraying her husband, Anna Karenina, and more painfully, she was betraying the love of her son, Seryozha. Every night she fought an inner war, torn between heart and mind, passion and duty, love and motherhood. The hypocrisy of society. 19th-century Russian aristocracy valued appearances above all. At balls and gatherings, smiles masked judgment, and whispers carried ruthless condemnations. As rumors of Anna's closeness with Vronsky spread, society revealed its double standards. Men's indiscretions were overlooked, but women's were punished without mercy. Anna's every move became the subject of gossip, her dignity dissected behind fans and closed doors. Karenin's coldness. Her husband Karenin noticed the change. Yet being a man of politics and order, he approached it not with emotion but with calculation. To him, Anna's rumored affair was not about betrayal of love, but about the threat it posed to his public image and career. For Karenin, marriage was a social contract, a matter of honor and status, not affection. His anger toward Anna was rooted in wounded pride more than heartbreak. The cost of love. Anna found herself trapped between her passionate love for Vronsky and the suffocating weight of duty and social judgment. Her love was her liberation, but it was also her downfall. Tolstoy illustrates here the fragility of women's positions in society, the cost of passion, and the painful clash between personal desire and social convention. Returned to the countryside. Rejected by Kitty, Levin retreats to his estate in the countryside, his heart heavy with disappointment. Far from the glittering salons of Moscow, he returns to the simplicity and authenticity of rural life. For Levin, the soil, nature and honest labor are far more valuable than the shallow relationships of high society. He works side by side with the peasants, plowing fields and toiling in the sun. This life, grounded in effort and truth, begins to heal him. Through Levin, Tolstoy celebrates the purity of nature and the virtue of labor, a search for meaning. In his solitude, Levin reflects deeply. He questions the meaning of life, the nature of happiness, and the path to true peace. To him, aristocratic life is empty, full of vanity. Real fulfillment, he believes, can only be found in working the land and living close to nature. Levin's philosophical struggles mirror Tolstoy's own reflections, adding a profound introspective layer to the novel. Kitty's regret. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Kitty is filled with regret. She realizes that Vronsky's affection has shifted entirely to Anna, and that her dreams of marrying him were illusions. In hindsight, rejecting Levin feels like a terrible mistake. His sincerity and integrity shine brighter when compared with Vronsky's superficial charm. Parallel stories. Here Tolstoy builds a powerful contrast. While Anna is swept away by forbidden passion, Levin is grounded by the honesty of rural life. One story reveals destruction, the other healing. Yet, as Tolstoy hints, their paths are destined to cross again, no longer hidden. Anna and Vronsky's relationship could no longer remain a secret. What began as fleeting glances and subtle conversations had grown into an undeniable bond, visible to all of society. Anna stopped concealing her passion for Vronsky. Despite the looming judgment, she chose to stand openly by his side. Russian high society was ablaze with whispers of Anna's affair. At balls, dinners, and gatherings, eyes followed her every move. Women whispered about her fall. Men mocked her defiance of norms. Yet no one understood the heavy burden Anna carried in her heart, the pain of being judged for choosing her own happiness. Her slow but steady exclusion from society, especially by women who judged her harshly, became a punishment more severe than any law. Karenin's pride. Karenin could no longer endure the humiliation. He considered separation, but his concerns were not born of heartbreak. For Karenin, the scandal threatened his honor and reputation within the political world. His pride, not his love, dictated his actions. Vronsky's resolve. Despite the risks, Vronsky remained firm. He chose Anna, valuing love above society's rules. Yet this defiance would soon bring him great personal consequences, reshaping his future. Society's double standard. Tolstoy masterfully reveals the cruel double standards of the time. Men's infidelities were tolerated, even excused, while women were punished mercilessly for the same. Anna's suffering becomes symbolic of the oppression faced by women in 19th-century society. A mother's love. For Anna, the greatest torment was being torn between her love as a woman and her love as a mother. Her passion for Vronsky consumed her, yet her devotion to her young son Seryozha was unshakable. While her marriage with Karenin crumbled and society cast her out, the thought of losing her son became her deepest agony. Karenin's harshness. Once Karenin fully confirmed Anna's affair with Vronsky, he used Seryozha as leverage. He threatened to take custody and forbid Anna from seeing him. For Anna, this was more than legal punishment. It was the tearing away of her last pure bond, the love of her child. Secret meetings. Desperate, Anna risked everything to see Seryozha. In one of the novel's most moving scenes, she slips into his room while he sleeps. Gazing at his innocent face, she weeps uncontrollably. When Seryozha awakens and throws his arms around her, joy fills the room, but only for a fleeting moment. Karenin and the servants soon intervene, cutting their reunion short. The inevitability of separation. Anna is forced to leave her son behind. This separation wounds her more deeply than society's rejection or her husband's coldness. Even her passionate love for Vronsky cannot erase the hollow ache of losing Seryozha. Tolstoy shows here the brutal cost of Anna's choices. In pursuing her own happiness, she pays with the most sacred bond of all, motherhood, the hope of a new beginning. Seeking escape from society's judgment and Karenin's coldness, Anna and Vronsky leave Russia. They live together for a time in Italy and other European cities. Their travels seem to promise a new beginning, a life free from the whispers of Petersburg society and the scorn of aristocratic salons. Dissatisfaction and loneliness, yet freedom does not bring Anna true happiness. Though she is with Vronsky, the loss of her son leaves a wound that no landscape, culture or beauty can heal. Vronsky, meanwhile, is torn. He loves Anna deeply, but the cost of leaving behind his career in the army and his social circle begins to weigh on him. He has sacrificed everything for love, yet doubts and regrets creep into his heart. Tensions between them. Over time, cracks appear in their relationship. Anna grows fearful that Vronsky's love is fading. Every small change in his behavior, every glance or word, fills her with jealousy and insecurity. Vronsky tries to remain patient, but begins to feel the pull of his old life. The passion that once bound them now becomes strained under the pressure of isolation, exile, and uncertainty. The price of love. Tolstoy shows that love is not only passion, but also responsibility. By defying society, Anna and Vronsky gained freedom, yet that freedom came with loneliness, doubt, and the slow erosion of joy, shadows of fear. As Anna's relationship with Vronsky continued, her inner turmoil deepened. Cut off from society, estranged from her son, and alienated from her family, she placed her entire world upon Vronsky's love. His affection became her lifeline, but with it came a crippling fear, the fear of losing him. Jealousy and insecurity. Anna scrutinized Vronsky's every action, every absence, every delay, every glance at another woman fueled her suspicions. Was his love waning? Did he still see her as he once did? These doubts consumed her, turning passion into torment. Vronsky, though still deeply attached to Anna, began to feel suffocated. Her constant jealousy weighed heavily on their bond, slowly eroding the very foundation of their relationship. Isolation from society, no longer welcomed at gatherings or balls, Anna became a pariah. Once admired for her grace, she was now the subject of scornful whispers and mocking glances. The same society that once embraced her now shut its doors, deepening her sense of exile. More painfully, Anna became a stranger to herself. The confidence and brilliance that once defined her gave way to insecurity, fear and despair, the echo of tragedy. The growing shadows within Anna's soul signaled the inevitable. The love that had once brought her freedom and joy was now her prison. Tolstoy carefully builds the atmosphere of impending tragedy, where Anna's inner collapse becomes the final step toward her fate. Despair. Anna had become a prisoner of both society and her own heart. What once seemed like liberating passion with Vronsky had transformed into unbearable suffering. Cut off from her son, ostracized by society, and tormented by jealousy, Anna felt trapped with no escape. The final ride. After a bitter quarrel with Vronsky, Anna sank into deep despair. She climbed into her carriage and wandered the streets, lost in thought. Her mind replayed her entire life, each memory laced with sorrow. This journey was not just a ride through the city, it was her final journey. The train station. Her path led her to a train station, the very place where she had first met Vronsky years earlier. The memory of the worker's death at that moment returned to her. Anna realized it had been an omen, a reflection of her own fate. The fatal decision. Overcome with hopelessness, Anna threw herself beneath an oncoming train. Tolstoy narrates the scene with stark simplicity, emphasizing not spectacle, but the crushing inevitability of her despair. It is one of the most unforgettable moments in world literature, society's silence. To society, Anna's death was not a tragedy, but a scandal. Her love, her pain, and her struggle were reduced to whispers and judgment. Tolstoy leaves us with the haunting truth of society's cruelty. It punishes passion, silences suffering, and forgets the human heart. A return to life. While Anna's story ended in tragedy, the other central character, Konstantin Levin, followed a different path. Married to Kitty, now a father, Levin embraced a quieter, more meaningful life. What began as heartbreak had transformed into a journey toward peace, a search for meaning. Levin represents the philosophical core of the novel. He wrestles with questions of life's purpose, morality, and faith. At times he doubts the existence of God. At others, he is haunted by existential despair. Yet ultimately, through the simple kindness of peasants and the harmony of nature, he reaches a sense of spiritual clarity, Kitty and family happiness. For Levin, Kitty is not only a beloved wife, but also a partner who gives his life deeper meaning. Their family life, grounded in love and simplicity, stands in stark contrast to the destructive passion of Anna and Vronsky. Tolstoy suggests that true happiness lies not in burning desire, but in quiet devotion and family bonds. The closing of the novel, Anna Karenina, closes with this duality, Anna's tragic downfall and Levin's spiritual awakening. Where Anna is destroyed by passion and society's judgment, Levin finds peace in faith and family. Tolstoy leaves us with a profound message. Love, society, family, and faith are the eternal trials of the human soul. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. More timeless classics are on the way. Stay